And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, Interim Director at WEIU TV and Radio. My co-host is Mr. Daniel Jones.
Happy Monday.
Our guest, well, we got two guests. We have one on the phone, Jessica Killo. Jess, welcome.
Hello.
I'm going to test your levels a little bit out. Jess is the president of the Charleston Chamber of Commerce. So can you hear me good, Jess? Right there?
Yes, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, you are good. And I've got another guest in studio today, Mr. Ed Dowd, Director of the Mattoon Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Ed.
Welcome. Good afternoon. How are you?
Everything is good. Again, we're talking a little, obviously, Mattoon and Charleston and the business climate and everything, but I guess we have to start off with asking the question that's kind of been out there in the public, but hasn't been, I guess, solidified or finalized, or where even it will be. But there is talk of a consolidation between the two chambers. So my hope was today, with having both you guys on, that you'd be able to give us an update and maybe even break news. I don't know. So talk about the consolidation, Ed and Jess.
Jess, you want to go first? Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, I am so pleased to confirm that our boards are talking, and we are in the process of looking into a merger between the Mattoon and Charleston Chambers of Commerce.
Cool. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I know I was actually on the a board a long time ago that when they tried this and it didn't work because there was a voting issue. Is it still the same where the members have to vote?
Yes, absolutely. Ed, do you want to take that one?
Sure. So the Charleston membership, it will go to a vote probably sometime this summer, and the Charleston membership has to be 66.67% of those who vote to pass it, and then the Mattoon membership, based on the bylaws, has to be 75+%. So if both chambers voted at those levels, then the merger can go through.
Okay. I was going to ask you what would need to, anything, that's the only thing that has to happen then? And then is it immediate, or does it start like the next calendar year, or what's the game plan?
Very good question. It will start the next calendar year, so 2022, January 2022, the merged organizations would start, correct.
Okay. Daniel?
I had a little housekeeping question. Last time Jess was here, we talked about how the way memberships worked for the Charleston Chamber of Commerce. Can you kind of tell us how memberships work for the Mattoon Chamber of Commerce?
Memberships meaning?
Businesses as far as getting into the program.
Oh, getting into the chamber?
Yeah.
Okay, so we currently have 325 member organizations, and we usually either recruit new members or members that haven't been members for a while, or they can contact the chamber, and there's a process to apply, and then they are accepted by the board of directors, and then they become members.
Are there different levels of membership, or is just one general?
Yeah, our membership's a little different than Charleston. They do have, I think, gold level and things like that. Ours is basically you're a member, each member gets one vote, and each member, no matter how big or large. There is differences, though, based on number of employees. That's how we determine their membership investment, is based on number of employees. But there is still one vote for one member.
Why at this time do you think it's a good time for consolidation? And I'd like to hear from both of you on that one. So, Jess, if you go first.
You know, I think it's no secret that the past year has been difficult on everyone, including the business community. And, you know, our two chambers all the time collaborate together. Ed and I work so well with each other, and we do already work to bring things to both of our membership bases. And so I think with a merger and a consolidation, we'll be able to have a bigger force to help our members, and it also helps expand our members' reach and their marketing and their networking potential. And I think, you know, at this point, it really just makes sense, and it's what's going to be best for our members and the business community as a whole.
Yes, and another thing that Jessica didn't mention is she's kind of doing a yeoman's effort over there. She's going solo right now. She doesn't have any other employees with her, so she's working real hard, and it just seemed that it'd be a good time, you know, since they don't have a big staff right now, that if we combined efforts, we could also benefit that way as well. And to Jess's point, the regional, everything's becoming regional now, and it's really important. Most people either work in Mattoon, live in Charleston, or vice versa. So the chamber should be one organization, really.
Yes, and to Ed's point, to add to that, you know, he mentioned his membership base was 325, is that correct, Ed?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we have about 230 some. And so when you think combining those two, that's such a big number for our members to be able to collaborate with one another, to network with one another. And like Ed said, since everything's moving regionally, it really makes sense to just combine those two numbers together.
Well, the $1 million question we have to ask is, who would be the director? Would it be Ed or Jess? Sorry to put you on the spot, but
Well, what they would do, they obviously they would have to decide, who's. I'm sure, I'm not going to say that either of us would definitely take the position, but there would be, I'm sure, a application process and things. But I would love to be the executive director.
So, Jess, I know I put you on the spot a little bit, but I guess a better question would be, the timeline would be that you vote in July and it takes place in January of 22 if everything approves. So over that 6 months of the rest of 2021, is that where all those kind of things get kind of washed out, as they say?
Yeah, for instance, bylaws have to be created, how we're going to handle membership, the finances and everything like that. So there will be needed time to get all that nailed down.
Is that how you think? Jess?
Oh, like I said, there are a lot of things that need to be answered and details that need to be hammered out. And the good news is Ed and I both have really wonderful, solid boards of directors, and they're putting a lot of time and effort into this. And we also each have, from our board of directors, merger committees, and they're working together to help suss out these answers and figure out what ultimately is going to be best for our membership. Because at the end of the day, we're both member-driven organizations, so whatever outcome we have, it's just what will be best for the members. And we've been really lucky in that we are utilizing someone who does mergers and acquisitions professionally, and she's volunteered her time to help us. So, all of these questions will be answered, but we're just working to get them answered now. Yeah. I
get it. No, that's good. That's good. Both of you had great answers on that. Let's get off of that a little bit, even though I think it's big news, and I think it's a good thing, my personal opinion. The other issue, Ed and I were talking off mic, and I know Jess was listening in. She's on the phone today. A lot of people need job, or a lot of employers need employees. There's a lot of job openings in Coles County. What can be done, and what are each of the chambers doing? I'll let Ed go first this time.
So, yes, in my view, there should be almost zero unemployment in Coles County because there are so many job opportunities. And the unusual thing, it's not just what people think, it's a factory job, it's an industrial job, it's retail. It is every sector. Every sector of business is looking for people, whether it's accountants, lawyers, law firms, just every sector is needing help. Healthcare, it's virtually everywhere. And some of the things that we're doing is we're working with the high school actually on a program to get there's going to be approximately 200 students who graduate from Mattoon High School this year, and about 130 of them have decided that they probably won't go to college. So what we're going to do is we're going to target them for all the local jobs and say, look, there are plenty of full-time jobs that pay great salaries. For instance, we were talking Mars Pet Care, $20 an hour. That ends up averaging over $40,000 a year. They get benefits from day one and even get a signing bonus. So we're trying to make it easier for these people who might not consider secondary education, that there are plenty of opportunities out there in any field that they want. And the other thing is we're actually asking these people to give videos of their locations and things like Mars Pet Care. Everyone thinks, a lot of people think that, if it's a industry or manufacturing, it's dirty and dark and things like that. Mars Pet Care is beautiful. I've been in there recently, and you could eat off the floor, and it's so clean and everything. It really is. And so people, and it's and the jobs are great, and so there's so many opportunities, like I said.
Jess?
Yeah, so we're right there with Ed in the Mattoon Chamber. We're really working diligently on the Charleston side to help fill these gaps in the employment industry. And so right now, something that we've started that I'm really proud of is a local job board that's on our website. And so any chamber member can post at any time the availability that they have in their organization. And I highly encourage anybody who's looking for employment right now to check out our job board. And it's got the direct links to all of these positions and how to apply and the salaries and the benefits and everything that comes with them. So I'm really proud that we have that up and going. And even though Ed noted, it's not just the industry side that is looking for employment, I think that is a big one where the industry and the manufacturing people are really looking to fill positions. And so we've started an industry and manufacturing committee to really work with our members in this line of work so that we can address some of these issues, and one of them being employment. And then finally, we've decided to host a series of webinars, and it's open to the general public. You don't have to be a member to sign up for them, but these webinars really help to address what our post-pandemic world will look like. So it addresses issues like pivoting your business model, getting the right people into positions, how to fill all the open positions that so many people have, and marketing. So it's a really wonderful, comprehensive webinar series, and I think that people will find the information so valuable.
COVID is still a huge thing in the world right now, and most likely due to the pandemic, I saw that some of your traditions, as your annual dinner and your winter swing, were canceled. Was there anything that you kind of did in place of it that was more like COVID friendly?
Yeah, one thing that we did to replace our winter swing, we did a Black Friday raffle. It was a raffle for, I think, $2,000 for people who, and then you don't need physical contact. You don't need, to have a group of people there. So that was one of the things we did. Very good question, by the way. But we are, knock on wood, hoping to be able to start again. We have our golf outing scheduled for June 25th, and we're very excited about that. We've tentatively scheduled our business expo, and Taste of the Expo for October 7th. And fingers crossed, everyone will get vaccinated and we can get that going. So,
Jess, is a good question. Charleston, what are the event kind of timeline right now?
Yeah, that is a wonderful question. We, we hosted our annual dinner online, so it was a Zoom meeting, and so of course it wasn't quite the annual dinner, but we called it the annual awards because we felt it was so important to still recognize our Citizen of the Year and our Business of the Year and Diplomat of the Year. And similarly to Ed in the Mattoon Chamber, we also hosted a raffle in conjunction with that. And we have tentatively decided to hold our very popular Tour de Charleston in the fall. So we're hoping that by September we'll be able to have the race. And of course, we're not ready to announce a date yet because so many things are up in the air with COVID-19 guidelines. But we're hopeful that we can have it in September, and as soon as we're able to make that announcement, we will, and we'll open registration. And the Charleston Chamber has also taken over the 18th Street Farmers Market, which we're so excited about, and we think that will just help, keep the chamber so involved in the community and gives our community that tradition of the farmers market that they still love. And so we're planning on having that live and in person and just following the COVID-19 open air event guidelines.
Things are opening up a little bit nationally as well as here in Illinois. As you talk to business people, and both of you can answer this, is how are they feeling about with the things opening up, more people out to eat, more people taking advantage of the things they couldn't take advantage of over this last 13 or 14 months?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jess.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Hey, go ahead.
No, Jess, you go first. Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm not sure. Of course, won't speak for Ed, but I would just say it is general excitement. I think our business owners are so ready to have people back in their offices, back shopping at their retail stores, back eating indoors at their restaurants. And so everything I've seen is, I would say hesitant excitement. We're all ready to get back to business.
Yeah, I agree with Jess 100%. Everyone's very excited about that. Again, though, it's unusual that they're so willing to have people come back, but they're a little short-handed. So, when you go to these businesses, and everyone's flocking to them, which is fantastic. Remember to be patient, be appreciative. Hey, if you get there a little early. If your lunch, if you plan on lunch for only an hour, try to get there a little early, or dinner. Get there a little early. That gives you time to talk to your family and friends while you're there. And if service is quick, take it as a win. But if not, you have that time, you plan that extra time. But yeah, no, it's great that things are opening up. I can't wait till we can stop wearing the masks all the time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling that way. Daniel said COVID's impacting, but I know there's always new businesses that are opening up or popping up. Can Mattoon and Charleston, can both of you talk about anything that's new that's been recent or new that you hear that's opening up soon? Jess, we're letting you go first all the time now.
Oh, okay.
Just because we're gentlemen.
Is it turn to go first? Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, we have had a couple of new businesses pop up. We've had a few new salons come up. We've had a new retailer come up recently, and so I am just thrilled beyond belief, from a chamber standpoint, but also just from a community member standpoint, to see that even though COVID-19 continues to impact our business community, that there are still people willing and able to open up businesses. And of course, we're still here to lend them all the support that they need. We're here to lend support to the businesses that are already well established. And I just hope, like Ed said, that our community members continue to frequent these businesses and show them some support and also some kindness and grace as they're working through reopening or just opening for the first time in a COVID world.
Yeah, in Mattoon, we have some great things happening. There's a new winery that's going to be opening up that you might have heard about, 55-acre winery with 15 employees. And what's neat is it's two local kids. I call them kids,
yeah.
but they're both the Pierces, and they, one of them, Cole, actually went to the University of Washington and got a viticultural degree, which I've never knew you could get before. Learned all about making wine and growing grapes and everything like that. So they're really investing in the community. They're going to have a building. They're going to have 55-acre winery, and they're going to, like I said, employ up to 15 people. So that's fantastic. OSF just recently opened up an urgent care center right next to the Starbucks.
I saw that, yeah.
And then there's Weber Optics, which opened up in downtown Mattoon. Entech, which is a high-end commercial HVAC company, is starting a new building. Southern Illinois Healthcare, they're starting a new building. And very soon, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I know you've seen that beautiful building that's going to potentially have over 300 employees. They're going to be opening up in June as well. So a lot of good things happening.
Now, I have to ask, though, I try to be positive, but we have to ask, what about the convention center? I go by it every day twice, and I look over there, and I see this white monstrosity that is not moving forward at a very rapid pace. Is that a nice way to say that? Do we know anything? Is there an update from either of you?
Jess, do you know anything particular about it?
I don't know enough to feel comfortable to speak on it. How's that?
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you went first. I'll second that. I mean, there is a lot. They are working very diligently to gather the financing necessary. I think they're very close. Hopefully we'll see something very soon.
I know some windows went in recently.
Correct.
And then that was kind of a stop. So I thought there was some progress being made, and so.
Correct. Yeah, they're still working through the financing. Yes.
Okay.
I was looking on the Mattoon website this morning, and I saw something about chamber bucks.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that? I was so intrigued by it.
Sure. Our chamber buck program, we're very lucky. Ours is very, very popular with a lot of organizations. I was speaking about Mars Pet Care, Grupo Bimbo, Animet, all these different companies. What they do is they buy these chamber bucks for their employees for either years of service, missing no days of work, if they get their production goals. And what they are is it's dollar for dollar match. So when Mars buys $10,000 worth of chamber bucks, they give them to their associates. Their associates take them and spend them. We have 70 different Mattoon businesses that take the chamber bucks, and they take them dollar for dollar. So you come in with a $20 chamber bucks, you get $20 worth of products from any of these businesses. And then we give the industries, the retailers, whoever it is, dollar for dollar. So if they get $20, we give them $20, and it's just a great way. We think it's a great way to keep the money here locally. So these people don't spend it in Champaign or Effingham or wherever else. That money stays in locally. Last year we did $150,000 in chamber bucks, which is phenomenal. I mean, it's just great that we were able to save that much money locally. Thank you. Good question.
And I guess, Jess, that would be one of the other questions that comes up in those meetings if you guys do consolidate is, do you do chamber bucks for Coles County? Do you do something similar? And I guess because some programs are going to stay and some won't. That'll be the tough decision, I think, in those meetings, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And, the Charleston Chamber, we also do chamber bucks. We run the program a little bit differently than the Mattoon Chamber, whereas we don't do gift certificates, so to speak. Ours are actual checks that people can come in and request, and they can do it for a certain amount, and they can also do it for a certain business. But it's the exact same idea. It's meant to keep the money local. All of our members accept them, and we do quite a bit of business with our chamber checks as well. And they're really popular at Christmas time, so that's always nice. And I'm sure that is a program that we'll definitely keep if and when we merge. It's very popular.
What about the popular business after hours? Is the plan to come back at some time here soon?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
Go ahead, Jess. Go ahead.
I'm just so excited. We were both planning on having business after hours starting in June, and for the Charleston side, our first business after hours is actually June 10th, and it's a joint business hours at the Elevate Center in Mattoon with the Mattoon Chamber.
Okay, yeah, we just had them on not too long ago. That was exciting too.
Yes, very amazing what they do out there. It's just great for our community, and it's getting a lot of national attention. So it's going to be a great way to showcase what they do, all the different levels that they do at that location. So
you were telling Daniel that you had hired, or somebody got hired, and I don't remember what he said. Remember?
Yes, I wrote down AmeriCorp volunteer.
Yes, so Mattoon in Motion, which is also one of the things we're working on, is workforce. As you know, workforce is huge right now, and we're working on workforce in motion, and we have a lot of different things we're trying to do to help get the workforce going. We, at one point, or just recently, we just got the services of Zach Marpy, who's going to be an AmeriCorps fellow, just like Carlos Ortega, who is actually running Elevate now. So this gentleman is going to be starting September 1st, and he stays for a year in Mattoon, and he focuses on everything that Mattoon in Motion, all the different things that Mattoon in Motion is focusing on. One thing we really want him to focus on is marketing our area, our region, to countrywide, so that we want to get people to work here. We want to get people to stay here, like yourself, Daniel. You know, we want people to be able to find opportunities, build homes and things like that, so that we can increase our reach nationally. So it's real exciting, and he's got a lot of energy, and we're real excited about him coming.
And Jess, I was reading, are you bringing the trips back that some of the Charleston that have always done for years?
Yes, we are. I'm so excited. You know, travel has slowly but surely started to open back up, and we're working with our travel partners, Colette, who, fun fact, my mind was blown. I was casually watching Jeopardy a couple weeks ago, and the trip that they gave away was from Colette. You know.
Yep, there you go. Small world after all.
Right, yeah. And so we're actually bringing back, there's a trip to the island of New England this fall. And then my absolute favorite is a trip down south to Charleston, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia for the holidays. And they're wonderful trips. You know, your trips are paid for, several of your meals are paid for, and your excursions are paid for when you book the trips. And you can find all of that information on our website. And I would encourage anybody who's got the travel bug, and I'm sure a lot of us do, just to go on and check out the itineraries, because they are really fun trips.
We're talking to Jess Meadows and Ed Dowd from the Charleston and Mattoon Chamber of Commerce today. We have a few minutes left, so I want to give the last couple minutes of if anything I forgot. So we'll let Ed go first this time, Jess. Ed, anything that I forgot on your list that you want to get out for Mattoon? And then, Jess, you'll have the same question.
No, just very excited again about what I love about our community, our region, is that despite of COVID, we're still able to grow and expand, and businesses are doing very well. We lost very few businesses. You know, we did lose a few, but we lost very few businesses during the pandemic. And I think it just speaks well to how the community works together, how everyone works together to make it successful. So just real excited about coming out of this and growing.
Jess?
You know, I don't think I could have said it any better than Ed. I'm just blown away and so appreciative of our community and how we've all banded together and really shown one another so much support through this time. And I just would again encourage everybody to continue to support local and, you know, continue, like Ed said, be kind, be respectful, be patient, but know that I think hopefully the end is in sight, and I'm just so proud of everything that our community has accomplished through all of this.
Daniel, I'll put you on the spot. You have any more questions for our two guys?
I actually do.
All right.
Usually throughout all these things, I always have the perspective of an outsider in the community. I live in the Coles County area like 9 to 10 months out of the year, but I don't know much about the Coles County area. So as the directors of your respective chambers, what are maybe some hidden gems in Charleston or Mattoon that people like me who come from other places don't know about?
Great question again. So, Jess, go first.
Okay, well, I always kind of, when this question gets asked, and that's a wonderful question, I love spending time outdoors, and so that's always kind of my default. And we have so many wonderful outdoor activities at our fingertips here. Of course, we've got Lake Charleston, and they've really done such a wonderful job of building out the trails there. And if you haven't been, you need to go check it out. It's absolutely wonderful. Of course, we have Fox Ridge, we have the Whiteside Garden, we have Warbler Ridge, and I just think those are some real hidden gems that maybe everybody doesn't know about. And then, of course, the downtown Charleston Square. There are so many wonderful restaurants and shops down there, and I would just encourage anybody who hasn't made it downtown yet to go down there and check it out.
Ed?
Yes, the great points, Jess. And also, we have a trail now that's now paved. It ends up being about 20 miles paved bike trail between Mattoon and Charleston. Just a great opportunity for people to enjoy the trails and seeing some scenery that way, which leads to the Douglas Hart Nature Center, which is a fantastic opportunity to see nature. They have carvings out of trees that they repurposed, ash trees that unfortunately were killed by beetles, but they repurposed them to show some great sculptures. We have unique, I don't know if you've ever had a chance to go to the Burger King, the original Burger King.
Yet.
So it's a neat little story. It's they took on the big Burger King chain because they had the name before them, and they're still in existence right there in downtown Mattoon. So there is all kinds of, we have Lake Mattoon, Lake Paradise. So there is a lot of different opportunities for people, and feel free to let them contact the chambers, and we can help them understand all the different things that are available in our communities. Good
great
question, Dana. Thank you.
And since you asked that question, Daniel, I'm going to spend the last couple of seconds of our show today. This is his last show, folks. If you didn't know, Daniel is graduating this coming Saturday on the campus of EIU. And I know you've been on with Jess and Ed a lot of times, so it's kind of neat that your last show is with friends, as we say. So I just want to thank you personally for being my co-host for the last year or so. You've done a great job. We wish you nothing but the best, and you've been a true leader at WEIU, and I hope for the business community and everybody on behalf of WEIU, Ed and Jess, we thank you so much for your work.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for having faith in me to be able to sit here with you and ask these questions that I do.
You did a great job, and Jess, get yourself well, my friend.
Thank you so much.
And Ed, as always, thanks for coming over, and we appreciate you making the effort to drive across today. And
hopefully, Daniel, you'll find something local. We'd love to have you stay in the community.
There you go. That's a good answer.
Daniel, you've done a great job. It's been such a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great day. We are WEIU.